Hey everybody, welcome. Welcome to this week's Stuff and Things. Stuff and Things. Anyways, this week we are going to be talking about movies. Anything and everything having to do with movies. Doesn't matter. We can talk about it. So first off, getting right into the meat of it. Who is excited? And I'm going to bring this up because the first time that I saw the poster for this movie, I had an immediate reaction that was just like I couldn't believe. Okay, let's see here. Okay, there it is. Okay, pulling it up over there. It's too big for the page. But that'll give you enough of an idea of what's going on with that. And then I'll pull up this one. Because it's just too crazy. I want to see this. Okay, come on. Starting off. Why is that the expanded view? Whatever. It'll do. It'll do. It'll do in a pinch. Oh, I gotta see what I'm doing. Okay, cool. Cool. All right. So, my question to you is, now that we're going, lurking, listening whilst I fold laundry. All right, well, thank you for the listen and the lurk. I appreciate it. My question to everybody out there right now is, who is excited for Finding Momoa? Aquaman. Now, I say this specifically because, and I'm going to show you the two posters. I'm going to show you the two posters. Here's the first one. There it is. There's the poster for Aquaman. And the first time I saw this poster, I was like, wait a second, something is off about this. Like it looks oddly familiar. Oh yeah. It's Finding Nemo. But let's do that again. Let's take a look at the other one. Let's take a look at this one. Oh, okay, so this one is all underwater. All underwater. And this one shows above water. But it is the same poster. So I will forever call Aquaman, I will forever call it Finding Momoa. It's just how it goes. Mega Mira sees it. Absolutely. So, but this is not a new thing in movie posters. I mean, you see the trends and the way that, people are posed on posters and stuff like that, and especially with the internet now, you get to see them side by side, all that kind of stuff. Like Ariel on the Rock, the Little Mermaid. Let's see if I can find that one in particular. I'm only seeing the other ones, the normal ones, but yeah, it's a trend that happens all the time in movies, in posters, and you get, like, let's see here, Marvel is going through a big like Marvel movie posters. Sorry. this whole thing that's basically every poster is the same. It's basically the same. So if we look at, say, Avengers Infinity War. If you look at this poster here. Okay. So you've got that. Right. Okay. So you got that poster. Then if... Man, my TV is not helping me right now. Then you go to Black Panther. And it is basically the same setup in the poster. The same setup in the poster. I mean, look at that. Come on. We can keep going if we want to, because there's a lot more. Guardians of the Galaxy, same setup. Not as many, because there's not as many characters. Iron Man. You know, this was at the beginning, so it wasn't, you know, they weren't completely copying their own form at all times. But the Avengers, it's like this, and I know they're ensemble movies. I understand that. But, come on. Very, very similar. It's like, think of something else. Think of something else that you can do. Sorry, I just got a text that was unexpected, but when I'm done with laundry, I'll look it up and whisper it to you. Okay, cool. Star Wars. Yeah, Star Wars. There's the ensemble thing. It's like, but Marvel, come on, mix it up a little bit. I don't want to talk about posters the whole time. But I'm not really looking forward to Aquaman. I've tried the DC comic movies, and I've tried to give them a chance, and all of that. But the problem is, they don't feel like they're written very well. Now, there's a lot of people who don't like Marvel movies. They think they're trash as well. Whatever. To each their own. I think that there are some Marvel movies that are not so great. But when you put out as many movies as Marvel has within the MCU, you're going to have some misses. It's just the way that it is. But I feel like the writing is, for most of them, Guardians of the Galaxy movies, Thor Ragnarok, Black Panther, even the Ant-Man movies, which I was very skeptical about when I was hearing about it coming out. I was skeptical about Guardians of the Galaxy too, because I was like, I don't know. That's a more obscure side of the universe to be delving into. Iron Man kind of went downhill. I was very disappointed with what they did with the Mandarin. They cheapened that character tremendously, in my opinion, and that was unfortunate. But the Thor movies got better, in my opinion. The first one was okay. The second one was better, and Thor Ragnarok was phenomenal. I thought that was a great movie. Fun fact: the line that Thor says when he's in the arena and the Hulk busts out, and he goes, "I know him. He's a friend from work." That was actually a Make-A-Wish kid who was on set while they were filming that scene. And he said, "Hey, you should say this." So that wasn't even in the script. That was an ad-lib from a kid who was there on a Make-A-Wish Foundation trip. Which is hilarious to me, and I love it. It's amazing that happened. There are a lot of times that ad-libs come through. And aside off of movies real quick, but TV, Andy Dwyer in Parks and Rec, one of my favorite lines that he had was an ad-lib. And it was when everybody was getting sick. And he goes, "I'll Google your symptoms." And when Leslie Knope walks out of the office, he goes, "According to this, it looks like you might have connectivity issues, and that was an ad-libbed line, but it fit the character so incredibly well that it seemed like it had been written. So that's TV is another night or whatever. Movies are very interesting because you can love a movie, like diehard fan, love this movie, and run across someone who's like, this is trash. This is a trash movie. This is a trash film. My grandpa used to say that's why they make so many different kinds of soup. It's because everybody likes something different. And that's fine. I used to be that person who got offended. Like, oh, you didn't like this movie? How dare you? Now I'm like, oh, you didn't like this movie? Sad. No, just kidding. But yeah, it's very interesting. There are certain actors and actresses that if I see they're in a movie, even if the movie looks absolutely terrible, I want to watch the movie because I really like that actor, actress, whoever it is, or director, or producer, cinematographer. Definitely, some of the cinematographers out there are so incredibly gifted. It's amazing. The writers. Basically, if there's somebody that's working on a particular film that I have really liked, behind the scenes, in front of the camera, whatever, I will give it a shot. I also like to watch movies just for entertainment. I love a lot of trash movies, just ridiculous movies that make no sense, that aren't really, they're just pure entertainment. One of the most recent ones I've watched of that category was Rampage. Ridiculous movie. Absolutely ridiculous. Loved it. It was so much fun. But totally just ridiculous. Basically anything that Dwayne Johnson is in, I'll watch for the most part because he's very entertaining to watch as an actor. And one of his earliest roles when he was transitioning from WWE, or was it WWF back then, or whatever area he was in the wrestling world. One of the first movies that he was in was the sequel to Get Shorty called Be Cool, which I thought was a great movie. I watched it more recently. It's not as great as I thought it was. But there's a lot of great lines in there and stuff. And he plays a stuntman in that movie. And he's hilarious. And they utilize the eyebrow raise in the movie, which is just great. But, because that was like his signature move. So, hey, Harps, how are you doing this evening? We're talking about movies. And how everybody likes movies and hates movies. And, you're never going to get a consensus on a movie. There's never, movies. As far as I'm aware, there has never been a single movie that every single person has ever liked. I mean, come on. That would be nearly impossible. Because there are people who don't really like movies, and so why would they like a movie? Even if they watch it, they'd be like, hot take. I'd have to watch it again, because I haven't watched it in a long time, but Citizen Kane was not my favorite movie. It wasn't, I was like, okay. 2001: A Space Odyssey, I've never been able to get through. I've tried many, many times. I just haven't been able to get through it. So you get these classics that are supposed to be, oh my gosh, this is amazing, and you're supposed to love these movies. And sometimes you watch them and you go, about that, not sure. But how are you doing tonight? Bambi. That's a sad movie. It's very sad. Did you know that Walt Disney's daughter did not like the idea of Bambi's mother dying at the beginning, and she tried to get him to change it because it was too sad, but he was like, no, we're sticking to the original story of this, and that's how it's gonna play out. So his daughter tried to get that character arc, very short character arc, changed. How am I doing tonight? I am doing well. I am gonna be honest, I'm kind of winging this tonight. I've been thinking about what to talk about with movies, with regards to movies, kind of hoping that there would be people in here to discuss it with. And so far, I've had Mega Mira in here talking. We discussed that already we discussed that Aquaman is basically Finding Momoa. If you look at the posters for Aquaman and Finding Nemo side by side, they're essentially the same poster. So I call Aquaman Finding Momoa because that's what it is. Where was I going? I had a train of thought and it left the station. It went away. I like some more of the obscure movies that a lot of people don't really know about. Shane Black has had some films that kind of flew under the radar. He's the one that did was it The Nice Guys? Why can't I think of the name of the movie? Yeah, The Nice Guys with Ryan with oh my gosh, my brain is just dying right now. Ryan Gosling and guys, I don't know what's happening. This is ridiculous. Yeah. Harps looked it up. That's right. Yeah, Russell Crowe, Ryan Gosling, The Nice Guys. It was a Shane Black film, and just oh my gosh, it's so funny. But there's a movie that that Shane Black did that kind of flew under the radar. It's called Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, and it's about a guy who is a thief, and he runs into this audition room and starts bearing his soul, and they hire him to be in a movie. So he goes out to and it's Robert Downey Jr. And he goes out to LA, and he's supposed to pal around with this detective played by Val Kilmer. And he's supposed to pal around with him, kind of get the feel for the character, all that kind of stuff, and then things just go insane. It is a fantastic movie. I would check it out if I was you. If you love crazy comedies, that if you watch The Nice Guys and you really like that one, you will really like Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. It is really, really good. And I love South Korean horror films. Or those they know how to do horror films, I'm telling you. Two of them that come to mind, Train to Busan, which is a zombie film. Really, really well done zombie film. And the other one is The Wailing, which is more of a psychological horror almost. I mean, not so much psychological. It's very intense. It's very in depth. Like it's a slow burn of a movie. I'm back. Yes, I am Captain Red Wolf. How are you this evening? Hope you're well. We're talking about movies right now. The Stuff and Things, episode 4. Pardon me. What did I think of Isle of Dogs? I have not watched it yet, and I really, really want to, because I love Wes Anderson, and Fantastic Mr. Fox is brilliant, in my opinion. I know a lot of people are like iffy on Wes Anderson. He goes for that style, but I think the writing is very well done in all of his movies. I saw Royal Tenenbaums a long time ago, and it stuck in my mind because the writing was just fit. And SNL actually, they did was it the Midnight Coterie of Murderers or something like that? Look it up. It's like Wes Anderson spoof SNL, and they captured the essence of Wes Anderson in it so well. It was amazing. You didn't watch it because the trailer was so weird. Yeah, I can understand that, definitely. It's definitely a different concept, for sure. Then Wes Anderson, actually one of the very first movies that I think the first movie that I saw of his was Bottle Rocket, which is a very indie, low-budget film. Owen Wilson, Luke Wilson, and their brothers, they're friends. They play friends in the movie. They're brothers in real life. But they play friends in the movie, and Luke Wilson's character was in rehab, and he leaves rehab. Owen Wilson's character is bent on them robbing basically doing a heist, and so it's them trying to come up with how they're gonna do it, and you have to watch it. It's so funny. It's so well done, and it's definitely before Wes Anderson settled into his style. You can see the pieces being put together in that movie, but by the time you get to Royal Tenenbaums and the Life Aquatic and the Darjeeling Limited and Moonrise Kingdom and all those, you can see his style evolving and really honing into what you can basically go, oh, okay, the Grand Budapest Hotel. I can watch the trailer without any sound or anything and be like, that's a Wes Anderson film. His style is so purposeful and unique. It's fun. I like his stuff a lot. And that's another thing is like the style of filmmaking oftentimes can turn a person on or off to a movie. The writing can definitely do that. Like, I have been a big fan of M. Night Shyamalan. Every movie I have liked of his except The Happening. The Happening annoyed me to no end. It was some of the most wooden acting. I had a fan theory on that one. That because M. Night was getting so much crap from everybody about his movies, even though I thought they were great. They were like Twilight Zone episodes, It's like feature-length Twilight Zone episodes, and I loved it. I've liked every movie except for The Happening. I had this fan theory, and it's probably way off base, but I don't care. I still will hold true to it. That he made The Happening just as a middle finger to the industry. Like because there's good actors in it. Mark Wahlberg, Zooey Deschanel. I mean, you've got good actors in this movie, and they just were wooden the entire time. And it just, I don't know. But I've liked his other movies. Signs, Sixth Sense. Obviously, Sixth Sense was a huge thing that just blew everybody away. And the problem is people were, after the first couple of movies, it's like, okay, so he does twists. And even Robot Chicken, what a twist. But, and I say that people get Shyamalan all the time. Because it's become kind of that culture of his movies and stuff. But I think he does them, I think he writes his movies really well. I think he has a knack for dialogue, which for me, I'm a writer, and my strength is dialogue. It's in those little bits and pieces that I get lost when I'm writing. So dialogue for me, if dialogue in a movie is spot on, is really good, then it'll get me hooked. Whether the movie is that great or not, if the dialogue is spot on, I'm on board. I'm looking up, because I cannot remember his name, but the cinematographer for The Assassination of Jesse James, Roger Deakins. Duh. The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford, which is a great movie. It's very slow. It's kind of, it's a very slow burn of a movie. It's very long. But if you enjoy the look of films, you have to see that movie. That movie is phenomenal. The lighting, the composition, everything is just impeccable. It's so well done. So you can get... So, Shyamalan finally finishing his trilogy. Finally. I'm so excited. Glass. And he posts stuff on Twitter all the time about... I'm on my 14th pass of editing this thing. And you're just like, wow. Just the respect alone for somebody who's so meticulous in the work that they want to make it the best that they can make it. And I guarantee you, any filmmaker out there, anybody out there who's watching their own films, that's watching what they have created and put on screen, most of them would say, no, I would do this different, this different, this different, this different. It's never perfect for anybody. You can watch it as a fan and as a film, aficionado, whatever. You can watch it and you can appreciate it 100%. and you can go, this was a great film. It was a perfect film. It was wonderful. But anybody who's involved with that creative process, there are things where they're going, I wish I would have done this different. That line, I would switch that up. It's never perfect. It's never right. Never perfectly right. I've done a couple short films myself, and I hate them. I mean, they were simple. They were just a little horror film. Somebody's house sitting, and somebody breaks into the house and whatever. But there's so many things that I would change trying to do it again. I have another short film that I really want to do, and hopefully I can get some money to do that at some point. That is a dialogue-driven short that takes place in a bar, but it's not your typical conversation. When I make it, I'm going to make it eventually. That I will not quit until I've made that short film. I've had a bunch of people read it and think that it's a great concept and stuff like that. So hopefully I can do that at some point. That's one of my goals. But writing short films is very different than writing feature length. Short films, you have a lot of information that you're trying to get in and pack in this tiny little package. And so you can have short films that make no sense. I've watched a lot of short films where I'm like, I get it, you're being artistic, but I don't get it. Honestly. And then there are other short films where it's like, how in the world did they just... They honed in on the exact points that they needed to, because they had 6-7 minutes of time that they were dealing with for this film. And then you get feature-length films where you're like, that could have been cut by about half an hour. They just put in a bunch of filler, and the movie was only an hour and a half to begin with. Which I believe the runtime for a feature-length film has to be, I think it's 81 minutes or longer. I think that's the yeah. Google is nice to have while I'm talking to you all. A modern feature is typically between 80 and 180 minutes long, but different groups have different minimum lengths to be considered a feature. Wow. So it's the Screen Actors Guild that the minimum length for a feature film is 80 minutes, but AFI says that any film that's 40 minutes or longer is a feature, which is very interesting. That's an interesting concept. I did not know that. So, well, okay. So my question then would be an hour-long TV program, especially on HBO, Showtime, whatever, the premium channels where there are no commercials. And so they can run their show for 56 minutes, or even on AMC and FX, they do stuff like that where they have the episode runs for an hour and 15 minutes because the content is 56 minutes. Would those be considered films or not? Or TV movies based on the length? Or would they not be? Conundrum. Anyways, I don't know. Anyone out there watching, what are some of your favorite films? I will tell you my favorite film of all time, and I will give you my reasoning for why it is my favorite movie of all time. Some of you already know it. Some of you can probably tell. Let me point at it, actually. There it is. A Beautiful Mind, Megamira says. That movie was good. I think I watched it when I was I wasn't as interested in those drama type films at the time. I'd have to watch it again and see what I think of it. But Russell Crowe is a very good actor, and he did great in that movie. I remember I enjoyed it, but I was like, well. So I might have to watch that again. My favorite movie of all time is Jurassic Park. My toddler, she asks us to sing Jurassic Park to her every night before she goes to bed. So we hum a little bit of the Jurassic Park tune. And I was playing it, and she has a little toy piano, and I was playing that bit on there. And she goes, oh, Jurassic Park. Contact. Oh, wow. Yeah, Jodie Foster. That's a great movie. That movie was one of those that you're just like, whoa. The exploration of alien life and all that is always fascinating to me. I have not seen that movie in a long time either. The reason why Jurassic Park is my favorite movie of all time is because I realized that if I ever catch a glimpse of it on TV, or if somebody's watching it themselves on without the commercials, because I can't watch movies with commercials. I just cannot do it. But except for Jurassic Park, I get sucked in. I can't not watch it. If it's on, I can't not watch it. And that's the only movie that's ever been the case. I can't not watch Jurassic Park if I see it on. I will get sucked in. I'm like, yeah, okay. I'll be with you in 2 hours. In 2 hours and 7 minutes, because that's how long the movie is. I'm a nerd about it. I'm 100% nerd about it. I annoy my wife sometimes because I'll be watching it and quoting it as I'm watching it because I can't help myself. But some of the things that I have learned about the movie, the little Easter eggs and stuff, are from the internet, but they're now part of my knowledge database of the nerdery that is Jurassic Park. Let's see here. Twister and Volcano. I had a strange thing with natural disasters when I was young. I love natural disaster movies. Twister, Volcano, The Day After Tomorrow, San Andreas. Again, another Dwayne Johnson movie. I mean, you get a disaster movie in front of me and I will love it. It's pure entertainment to me. A good-looking Matthew McConaughey. You named a kitten Twister. That's fantastic. Bill Paxton and her name is in my brain. Helen Hunt. Twister. Loved that movie. I was a big fan of that movie when it came out. I still like it. I still like to watch it. There's so much cheese. Oh, what's his name? Is in it too. He's like one of the drivers, and his character is hilarious. Hold on. What's his name? Internet is helpful. He was in Pirate Radio, which is a fantastic movie. Also, Philip Seymour Hoffman. He is in that movie. And he is hilarious. I did when I was like 4. That cat hated my mother. That is funny. That's very funny. Yeah, natural disaster movies, alien movies for the most part. Just that idea, the what if movies fascinate me. What if there is life outside of, the Earth? What if this huge earthquake did happen? But you made me think of something. Hollywood has this thing, and I don't know if somebody is listening in on other people's ideas or what it is, but if you look throughout at least the recent history, the last 20 years, 30 years of filmmaking, you will see the same movie come out under different titles with different actors around the same time. And I'm going to give you just a few examples. Armageddon, Deep Impact. They came out around the same time. Deep Impact was more of an emotional thing. It was definitely natural disaster, action, adventure type of movie, but it was more the drama side of that. Ants and A Bug's Life. Volcano and Dante's Peak. There's that history of Finding Nemo and A Shark's Tale. There's another one. you can look and you will see that these movies come out same year, within a couple months of each other usually, by different companies. Because I believe Shark's Tale was DreamWorks and Finding Nemo obviously was Pixar. And so you get these very similar movies. And it's like, okay, it's very interesting. Yes, The Mummy. The Brendan Fraser Mummy movies. The third one started to lose me. But the first two I really enjoyed. Second one brought in more cheese than the first one, I would have to say. But much, in my opinion, much better than the Tom Cruise The Mummy. I think they squandered that opportunity greatly, story-wise and all that. It lost me. I couldn't even pay attention. I'm a movie person. I retain movies. Obviously, you've heard me spout out who's acting in these movies from the 90s and stuff like that. So I'm a movie person. I retain this knowledge. This is the useless knowledge that I retain. I know who's in movies. I know what the movie was about. I could tell you based on a vague description of a movie what movie you're probably talking about. All that kind of stuff. I could not tell you what happened in the Tom Cruise version of The Mummy. Couldn't. Have no idea. I really don't. I don't remember it. It was that unmemorable to me. The Rachel Weisz was, there you go, Rachel Weisz, and she is a great actress. And when they switched her over to, what's her name? I cannot remember the actress that they switched over to. Wait, she was in the first two. That's right. Was she not in the third one? That character, I cannot remember. I haven't watched those in a little while, but Rachel Weisz is a great actress. Let's see here. There are movies that I can't watch again that I loved. I've got a couple horror movies like that. The Witch is the main one. I cannot watch that movie again. I loved it. And that one was a difficult one because they used the actual English vernacular that was used at that time that it took place. And so I know that was a difficulty for a lot of people, but I thought the authenticity that was involved with that, that decision made that movie just more frightening. But yeah, that movie, it was so good, but no thanks. Not again. Let's see here. Maria Bello. That's right. It was Maria Bello. She played Evelyn in the third one. Brendan Fraser, man, that guy, he was huge in the 90s. He did a lot of stuff. Blast from the Past, where he was kept in a bunker underground until he was an adult. Oh, Bedazzled. That was another one. Encino Man. If any of you have seen Encino Man with Sean Astin and Brendan Fraser and Pauly Shore. I love that movie. That movie's hilarious to me. It's so ridiculous. It is hilarious. That started my Pauly Shore kick, and then his movies got worse and worse in my opinion. They just kind of lost their fervor. In the Army Now was another Pauly Shore movie though that I absolutely love, and I haven't seen it in so long, and I want to watch it again and see if it holds up because I thought that movie was hysterical. More recent movie, The Arrival. Oh my gosh. Whew, that movie. I'm not going to say much about it because it is a newer movie, and I know a lot of people have not watched it yet, but that movie hit me super hard. That movie was phenomenal. And I think it's Arrival, because The Arrival is the one with Charlie Sheen about the aliens on Earth, and he's trying to stop them from doing whatever they're doing. So, and that one was from the 90s. I like that movie. That movie's ridiculous. That's one of those ridiculous movies that I like. But okay. Speaking of ridiculous movies, there's a movie that if you watch it, listen to the way that Jon Voight speaks in this movie, and you will not. Who knows what accent he's trying to put on for the movie? Who knows? If anybody is catching on to what I'm talking about, put it in the chats. Let's see if anybody knows what I'm talking about. Because, ooh man, it is ridiculous. I'll give you some of the other actors that are in it: Owen Wilson, Jennifer Lopez, is it Ice Cube? Yes, Ice Cube. But yeah, if anybody knows what I'm talking about, I love the movie. It's almost Sharknado territory, almost Sharknado territory. But I love it, and part of that love comes from the fact that Jon Voight, who knows what he was thinking for that movie. Maybe he just didn't care. And so he was like, I'm just going to put on this weird voice with an indeterminate accent and go with it. All right, I'm not seeing it. It's Anaconda. Anaconda is the movie that I'm talking about, where they go on an excursion through the jungle and get attacked by giant snakes. Or a giant snake. But you got a lot of those movies in the 80s and 90s, like Arachnophobia, which is great. John Goodman is in that one. Bill Pullman, I believe it's Bill Pullman, in Arachnophobia. Oh, no, sorry, Jeff Daniels. Jeff Daniels. Sorry about that. That was a mistake. Jeff Daniels. But that movie terrified me. I did not watch it for a long time because I have arachnophobia. I do not like spiders. Spiders are terrible creatures. I don't care what anybody says. Some get rid of bugs that are bad for whatever and stuff. But no, spiders, no. I don't like them. I don't know. They scare me to death. So watching Arachnophobia the first time was horrifying. Especially when you realize that some of those spiders were definitely real. I mean, obviously they had the fake ones, mechanical ones and stuff, but like the spiders, all the little ones that were coming out of the sink and stuff, yeah, those, nope. Burn the house down right now. It's over. Done. We're moving to another state. What else? I think the 80s had a lot of great movies that need to be continued to be passed on to these generations. Gremlins, Ghostbusters, the original Die Hard, and I mean the Die Hard movies became the fun, entertaining, ridiculous movies. The first one I thought was really well done and really well thought out. The second one was pretty good, and the third one was pretty good. But that first one, it was really well done. I have to give it to him. And it's a Christmas movie. I don't care what anyone says, it's a Christmas movie. So, we are coming up on Christmas, actually. Okay, here's a question. At the end of this month is Halloween. What are some of your favorite horror, scary movies, or movies specifically about Halloween? I'll start. It would be Ernest Scared Stupid. I think I watched that movie over 100 times at my cousin's house on a VHS tape growing up. And we would watch it basically every time that I was over there. So, Ernest Scared Stupid was definitely... I loved the Ernest movies growing up. I still like them. They're still very entertaining. They're hilarious. But that one, Hocus Pocus, was another Halloween movie. There's that one, I think it's called Halloween. That was a Halloween movie. Oh. The Rock and Family Man. I have never seen Family Man. Was that with, I know it's Nicolas Cage, but was Tia Leone in Family Man? Yep, Tia Leone was in Family Man. I do not like her as an actress. She bugs me. People say wonderful things about her show, Madam Secretary, but I'm sorry. Everything that I've seen her in has made me hate what I'm watching. I cannot, I don't know what it is, but I and I'm sure she's, it has nothing, it's a personal opinion. It has nothing to do with her as a person. It's just the acting style I just cannot get past. So I have not seen it. Family Man. Mainly for that reason. Let's see here. Spooky? Silence of the Lambs is a little creepy for me. Ooh, Halloween Town. Halloween Town. Okay. What's funny? Light bully word. That's why it was modded. That's hilarious. I don't know. I don't know what word was light bully. Oh well. Silence of the Lambs. Great movie. I have not seen Halloween Town. I have not seen that one. But bully with movies. But anybody else out there? A bunch of people just joined us. We're talking about favorite scary horror movies. Yes, I said horror. It just makes it easier because when I say horror, it almost sounds like horror movies. And that's just not what we're talking about. So, favorite scary movies or an old Disney movie. Gotcha. Disney Channel movie. Okay, all right. But asking what your favorite Halloween movies are, scary movies, horror movies, anything like that. What are your favorite ones? I'm trying to think of some more of mine. Because I love scary movies. One movie that terrified me was The Conjuring. That movie scared me to death. Because they built that tension so incredibly well in that movie. I went back to my house where my brother-in-law and sister were staying, and I was like, I'm glad you guys are here because I don't know if I could have stayed in my own house by myself tonight. Halloween Town. Look at that. That is funny. Oh my gosh. So, how about we take a little departure from movies and I tell you guys a true story of something that happened with my old house. And I am actually very, very slowly, but actually writing based on a true story horror film around something that actually happened at my house. So if you guys are cool with it, I'm going to end with this story. And it is crazy. Like, I hear a sound, I'm like, it's the house, whatever. I've heard sounds that sound like a human being, and I'm like, whatever. So I'm not that person that gets all frightened and creeped out and all that kind of stuff. That's not me in real life. Like, my imagination will run wild with me, but I know my imagination is running wild with me. Let's put that precursor on it. If I'm hearing things or I'm seeing things out of the corner of my eye, stuff like that, I chalk it up to my imagination. I'm like, whatever. It's nothing at all. So, I moved into a house that my brother and sister-in-law had lived in with their kids. And then they moved somewhere else. And since the house was, my parents owned the house and we rented from them, I moved into that house. And I moved into that house, what was it? Like, it was literally right when I met my wife. Because I went to the wedding, met her, and then was basically moving into that house at that time. So I was living there by myself. I lived there. I had a cousin and my brother living there. But when it got closer to the wedding and when she was going to move down and move in to the house with me, I was there by myself. And we had a keypad code on our door. I did on my door, on the front door. And my family knew it because my parents, being the landlords, they needed the code in case they needed to do anything in the house. So, and I promise, guys, this is all 100% true. Everything I'm about to tell you. As much as you want to roll your eyes, this is exactly what happened. And I am not the type of person, I will say it again, I am not the type of person who embellishes things when saying that it's true. I will do it in a movie and say that it's based on a true story because the basis of the story that I want to write is this, what I'm telling you now. I would be in the master bedroom and hear my front door open and close. And it didn't frighten me because I was like, oh, somebody's here, I guess. And so I'd go out, and it was so it was like the front door's here, and then there's steps that go up, and the master bedroom's here. So it wasn't like a far distance or anything like that. And I literally would walk out of the master bedroom and say, hey, who's here? Nothing. No lights, no sound, no person, no nothing. And I'd hear these kind of sounds every once in a while. And I was just like, okay, this is a little weird because it's not like just the sound of a pipe or, the sound of the house settling. It's an actual door opening and closing. That's weird. The biggest piece of it when I was living at the house by myself was I was in the master bedroom and above me I heard footsteps. Now, if it would have been little skittering steps, I would have been like, cool, there's squirrels up there. But this was deliberate footsteps walking in the attic to the point where I called somebody to come over, and they did, with a baseball bat, or he had his concealed weapon or something, and looked into the attic, and there was nothing there. Nothing at all. So, this is all happening before I get married. And with these sounds and stuff going on, I am then told that my nephew, when he was little, 2-3 years old, when they lived in that house, he would wake up nightly and my brother and sister-in-law would hear him saying, no, I don't want to. No, I don't want to. And freaking out. And they never knew what was going on. They had somebody, my family is very faith-driven people. We believe in God and stuff like that. And so they had people come over and pray over the room and anoint it with oil and stuff like that. And it never happened again to him, to my nephew. I didn't know about that. They told me that after all this weird noises and stuff were happening. So, get married. The sounds kind of go away for a little while. I hadn't noticed them for a long time. I have to say it again. This is 100% true. I'm laying in bed with my wife, and I'm half asleep, and she rolls over and she says, what'd you say? And I'm half asleep, and I kind of go, I was sleeping. And she goes, you didn't whisper, come a little closer? Nope, didn't do that. She went back to sleep. Didn't think of anything of it. I was awake for the next 2 hours. Like, oh cool, my wife is hearing full sentences. Somebody's whispering full sentences. So, that happens. And we're like, okay, this is crazy. I don't know what's going on. It's not just happening to me now. It's happening to my wife. So there's another party involved here that can corroborate what's going on. Again, let me say that this is 100% true. What happened? I went to get the mail one day, and we had one of those communal mailboxes where you have a key and you turn it and get your mail out, whatever. And the mailman was there the day that this information was given to me. He's at the mailbox, and he goes, "Oh, hold on, let me look. Oh, I don't have anything for you today." I was like, "All right, man, cool. Have a good day." And I turn and start walking back to my house, and I kid you not, he goes, "Has anyone ever told you the history of your house?" Oh, chills, yeah. If you all are feeling chills, yeah, that's what happened. I turn around and go, "Nope, nobody has." He goes, "Oh, well, there was a guy that lived there with his wife back about, I don't know what he said, it was like 15 years ago, murdered his wife in that house." And I'm like, okay. All right then. So I take that information and I tell a few people, the mailman said this to me, and they're kind of like, yeah, okay, all right. And so in my brain, I start to think, okay, we're fairly new to the neighborhood. Maybe he's just, trying to, be funny or whatever. So I start looking up murders in the town where I was living in the time frame that he said it happened. And I come across this thing that says that this person killed his wife in the master bedroom while their children were in the other room. And I'm like, okay, so there was a murder here around that time. All right. So I do a reverse lookup of our address, which showed me the owners of the house, the previous owners going back. And that name appears in that list. The name of the person who killed his wife in the house. So it was true. It happened. And then we heard sounds and footsteps, doors opening, people whispering, all this kind of stuff. Yeah, nothing further happened. We had people come again and pray over the house, and they wrote scriptures on stakes and kind of hedged our house in with scriptures. And even that, I understand that can sound very weird and as a concept if you aren't in that same belief system. But and then it kind of went away, and then we moved. We're out of that house. We don't live there, and all that. But we call him Carl the Hobo Ghost. That's what his affectionate term is. But there were times, I'm telling you, there were times where it was really creepy, and I can't explain it to this day. I don't know what happened, what was going on in that house, but I tell you, it made me believe in spirits a little bit more, just in terms of that. And so yeah, that happened. That's a 100% true story about something that happened to me and my wife. Megan Mayer, when I was little and we lived in Corvallis, Oregon, we had a house that we rented. I hated going in the master closet. Huge closet. It was always super cold, and I always felt like someone was watching me. After we moved out, I found out that the previous occupant had died in the closet. Spooky. Yeah, that is a little spooky. All right. Well, I hope that you guys had fun, enjoyed yourselves tonight, talking about movies and then ending with a spooky story. But yeah, it's crazy. I hope you had fun and enjoyed yourselves. I said that already. Holy cow. I'm sorry, I'm in a loop now. Don't know what the topic is going to be next week. I can't believe I made it through a whole hour actually talking. I didn't think it was going to happen. But if you have any suggestions for topics, anything like that, you can always whisper me on Twitch. If there's anything specific you want to talk about, you want me to talk about, you want to interact with, that kind of stuff, you can also find me on Twitter. And you can always DM me or whatever. I have polls up there asking what people want me to talk about, stuff like that on occasion. So you can do all that. Stuff and Things is my brainchild that I'm developing, and I think it'll get better and better as we go along. I know it's a little rough right now. Thank you for hanging with me and being patient. But that's about all I've got for tonight. I will be back in about 20 minutes to stream video games, and it's going to be Old Man Nico after dark, which means cussing happens basically. I mean, it's not like I don't show my shoulder or anything like that, but if you are following me and you have notifications on that emails you or sends you a message on your phone that says that I am online, you don't want to miss. I have a little special. It's a very short intro, but I have a very special intro that I created, and it's funny. So you don't want to miss that. But it's Old Man Nico after dark, and I also have something that I'm going to start doing. I'm going to try to do that. Yeah, my shoulder. That would be risque. Yes. But there's something else that I'm going to be trying to do, and as it's a motivational thing for me with my weight loss and stuff like that. So I'm gonna bring that up as well once we get going again. Give me about 20 minutes. I'll be back. Thank you for joining me. Thank you. I will see you in the future.